Hey everyone, welcome to Gaming with Vindicator, where we're building the city of Mikelsfjord. In our last episode, we started to take care of more of our rail traffic by building a new seaport here, where trains can have another spot to deposit their cargo. We've also installed a external train cargo terminal here that's connected to this main line. And that's going to have the effect, I hope, of solving some of the train traffic that's coming down this northern rail corridor here. It's going to allow a lot of the trains to bypass these cargo ports and this cargo airport, hopefully find another outlet for their wares and their goods. So, however, we're not done. We did put in a new cargo airport on this side in expectation of somewhere to drop off more cargo. However, since the last episode I recorded, we have learned that the airport's DLC is coming out, and so I'm not going to do too much with this airport until we have the new DLC, and we're going to actually put a DLC airport in here when that's available. So we will finish that off today in hopes of just diverting some of this train traffic. We're going to expand our cargo port here and make it a little bit more robust and do some decorating on that. But first, you know what, we've got to do something else. There is a train junction here coming through this Ostrup Farmland, and as you can see, this is a very busy cargo rail port, and as you can see, it's servicing a lot of places. So it's central in the map, so it's servicing Torrens Square, Brandenburg Park in Fjellsen, and downtown in Stavanger here. So it's doing a lot of duty, and that means that there will be a lot of backlog on this line, I'm sure of it. And so what we want to do is fix this junction here, this train junction, so that instead of trains coming down from the north there and getting bottlenecked at this location, we're going to allow them to fly through. So first thing we're going to do is actually bounce back to this new rail port here and rename it so that we know where trains are coming and going from. So we're going to call this the Antwerp Seaport, just so that we know what it is and trains can tell us where they're coming from. And we're also just going to preemptively call this, we're going to call this Schengen Airport. Schengen Cargo Airport. There it is. Alright, so now we can bounce back to our rail connection here, and I want to do a few things, which is we're going to move this rail yard on the other side of the rail so that this line on the right can just go straight through without getting caught up in any kind of waiting situation. So any trains that want to come from the north and go fly right down south can do that. We're going to separate these lines. We don't want them connecting anymore. There's a bit of a challenge here because we have all this tangled mess here. We've got the highway, we've got the other rail going across, and the power line. So we're going to have to do something interesting to make this work. And I have always disliked this overpass. It's very a little ridiculous. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower this rail line and go under the highway and flatten this road out. So let's get to work here. I'm going to pause it and we're going to do some destruction. I want to make sure that this is at a nice gentle slope, but also not coming too far out. So first things first, we're going to extend this rail line. Now what I want to do is run a parallel track under this highway, and I think there's probably only this one pillar in the way, so we're going to move the national rail line for a second, and we'll see if we can get a straight segment to go right parallel. But first, I do want another one-way. This will become clear why I'm doing this in a second, but we're going to go down at the max length. One there. And then we're going to do a double rail beside that. And I'll tell you why. We're going to bring this right out to about there, parallel with the other line. And I think we need one more on this side as well. Going down as well. We'll make them equal length. Now, this line, this double track in the middle, is going to link up with this main line going to the west. So what I want to do, there's no reason to extend this or this, because these are straight through. They're flying straight through. They're not going to get caught in the stations anymore. So I'm going to leave them as is, I think, anyway. And we're going to give the other tracks as much line as possible. Yes, we are. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to mirror this main line. I want to back it off just a little bit so we can connect. We'll start from here, and I'm not sure, this is straight. It's fairly straight. So I think if we come up to this node, will let me do that? Yes. We'll back this off. Actually, no, that was fine. That was fine. This now is going to curve and follow this line. I'll even back this off a little bit so we can connect them at a nice smooth angle. That looks great. And hopefully we can use our curved road tool, meet the node, and have a nice smooth connection. Now trains can come from the west. Well, they can as soon as I connect this. Trains can come from the west side of the map, where a lot of our industry is in that direction, and they can join up with this line. And if they get off at this junction here, they're going to be able to hit the railway station from this angle. And again, I'm going to hopefully make a nice smooth connection on this one. And as far as this one, we're going to try to join it as well somewhere in here. I don't want to come too far because I think that might cause a problem with this one, but let's see where this might like to connect. I don't like that. I'm going to back it off a bit and try again. Beautiful, I love that. Now we'll have to switch these around when we figure out which way they're going, but essentially, let's do that now. So the main idea is this double track here is going to serve the west side of the map, and the single lane rails are going to serve the other side. So this is going to be coming in on the right side, and it's on the right side so that the trains don't have to cross the track, and they're going to be able to come out on the other side. That was right. Okay, and then we're going to connect them underground, and they're going to go in this direction. But the first thing we want to do, and that's connected, we want to fix this bridge, and we're going to have to go underground. Let's do that now. And I'm just going to use a dirt road to connect these two lines so that I get a node there. Now when I delete them, they will be at the same exact spot. I can come right back here. And we'll go as far as the monorail line here. Now, we want to know how deep down do we have to dig this trench. If I'm good, I think it's 13 meters, which means, we've got a trench here downtown, so I'm going to just actually steal this height for a second and see if that works. If we're really lucky, that might be at the same height, so we're going to go clear a pad to that height and start counting. What do we have here? Oops, I lost it. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we've got 12 meters, so I'm going to go down just a little bit more to be safe, because I want to make sure that this bridge will clear 2 sets of tracks, so let's see if I can do that. Let me go just one more to be safe, so let's level out a pad here. Alright, that's looking good. And now we're going to smooth it all the way up to the connection points here. So we use this tool here. And I don't want to go directly in the middle, otherwise that's going to raise it up from there. So I'm going to just click it over here and start here and just smooth that right down. Okay, we're gonna hope that the same thing will work on this side. Start from here and go up. Now that should be a smooth enough grade for trains to pass. I think it's okay. I'm just thinking now that what I want to do is make this a short connection, and so we're not going to take too much space up, but what we are going to do is run a parallel line here, and that will connect to the underground segment that I'm about to build, and that should be pretty great. Now, with a little luck, this road should be able to go right across. Let's try that now. We're probably going to have to play with this just a little bit. It might take a few tries, so stick with me and we'll get it. So what I'm going to try now is actually to raise this back up. And I'm doing that so that I get my bridge a little bit closer. Now there's a risk that if I do this wrong, it's going to mess up the whole thing. But we'll try to get it on the first try. And if not, guess what? We're doing it again. So for some reason it doesn't want to do it, and why don't we do this? Let's try it with a smaller road and see if that has any effect. If I go up a little. See, it doesn't mind that, which is telling me maybe it is a height issue, which is kind of silly. So if we look at the count, it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They should be exactly equal, so I'm really not sure what's going on with that. Let me just tweak it. Alright, so it's not cooperating. It looks to be a height issue. We probably are only about 1 or 2 meters off. So what I'm going to do is, I know if I delete those rails, it's probably going to fill in the trench automatically. So I'm just going to do it one more time. Oh, I think what happened maybe was that those tracks actually raised themselves up just a little bit. So, alright, we're going to make this whole again and get this out of here. And I wonder if now that we have one track, will it work? Yeah, it is. So I might just put that in now, hoping that it's level. And I can now try to build a track underneath it. So I didn't go high enough with my bridge, unfortunately. It does look like it's level, however, I think there's clearly something going on there. And I think these are absolutely level, the two sides, so that's really strange. It must be that the bridge is going down a little bit. Or perhaps, you know what, it almost looks like the bridge on the other side is cutting into the ground, so that's really odd. I think maybe there's an issue with the road that's underneath the highway, so let's see what can we do here. And that's fixed it. Okay. Thank you, game, for being quirky. Awesome. So now we just need a tunnel on this side. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are actually going to extend this a little bit. Oops. Wrong tool. Now what I want is for one of these lines, a one-way line, to come back from here and join a tunnel just on this side. So we're going to take our straight segment from here and go straight down. Maximum distance 12. And we'll do another one on the other side. That can be, I wonder if I can back that off a little bit. Now let's make them symmetrical. So back this off even just a little bit more. One's going to come in, one's coming out. And then, when we come above ground, connect them up so that they're joining on the right side, the correct side of the track. And there'll be no risk of crossovers on this specific line here, which I know will cause some backups if we do that. So, got these going the right way around. This now has to be rejigged a little bit. I'm going to connect this guy up. It's going to give us now trouble with the underpass. Alrighty then. We've backfilled as much as we can. We've connected our lines as far as there. The main line going east-west is intact. The lines going right through this area without stopping at the stations are intact. And we've got to connect the underground segments. Yes, they are all the right way around. So now trains can come in to the track with the stations on the right side going north, on the south side going west side going south, and they can get back onto the main line with ease. I hope that's the theory anyway. Now we've got a bit of road rejigging to do. Let's just check up here. Yes. So this is definitely not enough of a track length to hold any trains. So we're gonna go, I think, as far as possible, and hopefully that'll avoid any bottlenecks on the upper side. And I see we've got we're gonna have a bit of an issue perhaps with the road, so let's see what we can do. Just going to have to eyeball it a little bit, which I don't love to do. It's not very accurate, but hey, it's going to work. It's going to work beautifully. Now I see that we've got a straight track here, so we're going to just mirror that. As far as we can, let's say to about there. Use our freeform tool to make a very smooth connection as far as we can go. Beautiful. And this last segment should, well, you know what, let's make it perfect. Perfection is key. We're gonna have to turn all of these snap twos off. Just to eyeball it a little better. Alright, not exactly perfect, but hey, that's pretty good. Alright, now we have lots of track length on the north side here for trains that want to stop at either this station, which by the way is not very busy. We're going to have to figure out how to rejig our road network to make it more busy, and potentially put another whole set of farming buildings in here on this fertile land. However, not for today. Let's fix our road network, shall we? I think the perfect thing here would be a tunnel. I don't want to go over, and I don't want to do something wonky with going around and under, so we're just going to go over. We definitely don't want an at-grade crossing, only because we definitely don't want to back up and jam those traffic lines. We don't want to jam the road traffic either, so we're going under. Need those snap twos again. And in fact, I'm just going to do angle so that I can get as far as I can go and go down just as shallow as I can go. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Down and connect. Now, is that crazy steep? Perhaps. I don't love it, but it will work. Excellent. Now, on this side, I could do a tunnel again, but that's less fun. Why don't we try to go up and over? And why don't we try to almost mirror the angle, not quite, of this slip road. Okay, we've restored the road network, but I want to make sure that there's a one-way system here. And as always, I like for the one-ways to pass the station going in this direction, north in this case, so that trucks can turn right into the station and they can turn right out and not have to cross over each other. I'm going to also do that on this side, and we'll make a nice couplet. So this is a south road. I'm just wondering if that needs to be anymore. In fact, this is not technically good road hierarchy, but what I think we're going to do is turn this into a junction with the arterial, and we'll call it an experiment. We'll see how it performs, but I think we're really bottlenecked. This one junction here is where a lot of the traffic is passing through, and I'm just not sure that makes a lot of sense. So let's you know what, let's be clean with this. Let's back this off just a little bit and rebuild it. I want to bring it all the way up to here. We use our arterial 6-lane road, connect, and we'll do curved road here, freeform rather, and a nice 90-degree angle basically, 90-degree circle, and yeah, okay, looks good. We will put another connection in here. And we'll go all the way up, and all the way up. Let's see how the traffic gets at these junctions. I mean, it is an arterial, technically, sort of, but you know what? This road could also act as an arterial, so we can call this a collector. Hey, we'll just fudge it, no problem. All right, now a quick look at the traffic. I know this is gonna completely reshift, but I want to move this barn away from this area because there's gonna be a ton of traffic. But before I do that, let's finish the one-way roads. Make sure that they're all going in the right direction. So our couplet, yeah, I think we're gonna want to go all the way one way to the junction here. Okay, beautiful. We have a nice circular movement here. North side of this arterial, doesn't matter. We'll leave the roads normal for now. And what else? What else? We've connected our train lines. Oh, I've got to reconnect the national line. The regional train line has been busted, so let's fix that up. And I think we're gonna have to play with our snap twos because yeah. We'll come. Yep, that works. Pillar right in the middle of those two, and that looks almost brand new. We have fixed it, and without disturbing the power lines, I might add. Wow, that's pretty snazzy. Great, so it looks like everything's connected. This might not be my favorite way to do this, but hey, it's working. And now we don't have a bridge that goes up like a Ferris wheel. It's nice and straight, and the tracks go down, which in this case makes sense. The grade is pretty smooth, I would say. We got a bump there, but well, I'm not going to cry about it. This is nice and smooth, and everything's connected. Everything is going the right way. Let's hope. Are we ready to run it? Road, road, road. Did I get the one-way underneath here? I'm not sure that I did. No, so which way do we want it to go? It has to go to the right. To mirror what's happening below it. Go underground for a second. Okay, next page down. Perfect. Okay, let's run this at speed and see how it performs. So now what we've done is we've future-proofed this line a bit and derailed the train, of course. But we future-proofed it in that we know that once this port is poppin' and once this airport's connected, it's going to divert a lot of traffic from up north here. And they're going to start taking this line south. They're not yet. They're going to have to do a bit of pathfinding now. But, okay, so that's done. We're going to move this barn while we're here. I don't want it anywhere on a red road where there's a lot of traffic. And, well, so far it seems to be holding up. but it's on a one-way. That means everyone has to come down this road. No, we definitely don't want that. We've got 2 barns there already. Don't love that. Where else can we put this? We really don't have any barns. Oh, by the way, I know what I did here. The idea was I would store goods so that they're close enough to this, you know, all the commercial areas here. That's not happening. There's a 1% storage. We're gonna switch this and we're gonna store farm products here because, hey, it's a farm. And I've noticed that some of these buildings before were asking for not enough customers. So that should be fixed by putting this, setting this to farm. All right. Yes, we're moving barns. So I think what we'll do is, yeah, maybe, you know, there's nothing really on this side of the map. There's one way up here. Fine, but we can do better. This just cannot be here anymore. I want to put it kind of off the junction. There for now is fine. And this now, there's 2 here, which is, you know, creating a lot of traffic. It doesn't look terrible. We've got one, I think there's one here. Yes, small barn. There's nothing on this side. Where to put this? Maybe on this side? Yeah. Let's just move one. The one that's right on the corner. And we'll stick it right here. Okay. We're dispersing a little bit of the traffic around the map now. We're making sure that things are flowing. Traffic is definitely readjusting. Let's just check our stop signs and whatnot so that we're making sure this actually should be a priority road. And we'll just make sure it's going all the way where it's supposed to be. Yes, great. Cool. Junctions. What are my stop signs doing? Ah, yeah, the old stop sign, the roundabout trick. Not good. And you know what else? We're gonna remove this stop sign because a lot of traffic wants to get to this cargo rail yard, which we want to encourage so that it clears the roundabout. So that's clear. Do we need a light here? I'm not certain we do. There's only really 2 movements, so I'm just gonna take it out and see what happens. This is fine. We definitely want lights at the arterial. That's fine. We want one here where the collector meets the arterial. This is seeming to be working fine. And yeah, what's going on here? This bakery is causing a lot of traffic, so I might have to rethink that. However, good. We do have a bit of a backlog here, but it's nothing to worry about. Traffic's moving off the roundabout. Trains are fine so far. All right, have we done everything I wanted to do over here? Yes. Let's move to our port of Antwerp that we created in the last game, last episode. A few things I want to do here as well. I know that there's going to be a crazy amount of, well, there already is, crazy amount of traffic moving from this cargo port, this seaport, up to this external rail line. There's going to be a lot of synergy between them. So I'm thinking it makes a lot of sense to actually, well, we're going to try it. We're going to try to go over the road with overpasses. But unfortunately, these warehouses are on this road. So once you raise it up, they're no longer on the road. So I think this quickest solution might be actually to put a road in the middle here. You're gonna have to move them, you know, highly realistic obviously, but let's do that anyway. Ooh, temporarily. It's always temporary. We'll move this guy here and this guy here for a second. We're gonna put a road in. It's not gonna come all the way down. It can't connect there anyway because of the port. So we'll bring it as far as we can, and then we'll put these back onto this road. Again, what we're doing is just dispersing traffic. We don't want this traffic from the warehouses on the road that the trucks will take to get to and from the external rail yard on the other side of this collector. So we'll just put everything on this new stub road, cul-de-sac them. Hope that doesn't get too busy. Awesome. Okay, next. have any services in here? Yeah, no. Oh, we have no police or fire coverage, so that's probably something terribly important to do. Garbage processing status very low. There's no coverage over here. I think it makes sense to get a recycling center in here first. And let's get a police and fire station in here. I think probably this one makes the most sense stylistically. And is the police station bigger? I think it might be. No. Alright, well, you know what? Let's get this next to the train station. Why not? We'll kind of bookend it. Right there. Okay. Great. We no longer need this power line. It's connected. Unfortunately, we have just not enough workers. I think that was that problem. What else do we need here? Let's make this look like an actual seaport. So what can we do? We do have some beautiful assets in City Skylines. So what do you have around a port? Well, normally you have some oil tanks of some kind. So I think if we go into our oil industry panel here, I don't believe this needs to be an industry area. We could paint one, but we've got these assets here. So we could put in one, and could we fit the other one? I don't think, no, this is gonna be too big. So maybe we just do one for now. And tell you what, let's do two. We'll get our next road in here. Okay, so I want this road to be straight for as long as possible. We're gonna back it off just a bit. Just a little bit more. And the other thing I wanna do, I know this road's gonna be crazy busy, so we're gonna go full 6-lane road up here. There's no industrial version, so we'll just use the regular 6-lane road. And I wanna go up to about there and upgrade the rest of these all the way along, because there will be significant traffic, I'm predicting. I'm gonna go to there for now. And get back to our industry roads. Connect that up. Now we can move this off of that busy road. That's really a couplet. In fact, we're gonna move that there so we can just get one more in. I didn't like me trying to get that in there. Okay, so now we got our 2 oil tanks. That looks, you know, fairly seaport-like. And we'll extend this road as far as we can without mucking up the shoreline. We did, anyway, it's fine. And, you know, while we're here, let's make this look a little bit more, I don't know, symmetrical. And we'll pull this back just a wee bit. We'll stick in more seawall. Why don't we come up to just to there? And now we can flatten out the earth a little bit more under the sea, so that we don't get this little ugly bump here along the seawall. I knew it was there. Okay, I don't want to run it yet because we're still not quite connected with power and roads. So we're gonna go back to industry here, and I think maybe I'd like to see one of these big guys in here. Yeah, let's do that. So where do we want to do one on this side? Looks like it's gonna do something a bit wonky with the grid lines there. Do not ask me why. We're gonna see if we can fix that. Try it. You'll like it. Yeah, okay, grid lines have been fixed. Let's see if we have options here. So that's bouncing out to the Essence Street, and if we go on this side, yeah, it's square. It doesn't matter which way we put it. So it's a matter now of where do we want the traffic to go, and I think the road on the shoreline will be less busy, so we're attaching it there. This road I think is gonna have to curve early. Okay, looks good. Now, another road in here, and we'll go tight to this oil storage facility. We'll go there. I'm gonna go as far as possible and then curve it so that hopefully we can get a little bit something else in this area if we so choose. And okay, that's great for that side. Let's extend the road on the other side as well. Oops. And we're gonna come, I wanna come out, yeah, that's probably reasonable. And then we can rejig this train in a second once we figure out what's going on here. Let's see what other assets from the industries DLC we might be able to get in here. So the farming storage units are all very small. However, you know, probably the grain silo looks a little bit seaport-like, so we'll stick a couple in here. It'll be like, you know, grain silos waiting for the ships to take it away. And what else have we got? Barns? I don't really want a barn in here. That doesn't really fit with the aesthetic we're going for. Ore industry, what have we got for storage? Oh, there's a lovely, huge warehouse, and it fits in absolutely perfectly. Okay. How does that look? Yeah, there's a warehouse that fits into a seaport theme. This is coming together. What else do we have? Let's see. Any other industry buildings? We've got this ginormous raw mineral storage. Okay, I don't mind that. I wonder, yeah, okay, so we'll stick that in there. Let's put one more road in here. Oh, I totally forgot to rejig this road. Great, so now the truck's going from here to here and vice versa. We'll be able to not get stuck at a light. I'm going to do a little bit more with asymmetrical roads there in a second. But let's finish our warehouses here and make this look like a proper seaport, shall we? Okay, what other storage buildings do we have? Ore storage, perhaps. I don't want to put any processing buildings because we need an industry area. You know, we could stick a few more warehouses. I don't want any factories here. I have another plan for that later. These little guys, these oil storage, what are they called? Caverns? Oil industry storage. That might actually fit nicely on this side. Let's put two of those in here. How's that look? Sure, why not? We don't actually need the road to go all the way that distance. That's fine. Give me a lot of oil storage right here. I hope a meteorite doesn't hit there. What else fits? What did I miss? Oh, forestry area. Let's see what they've got. This is a wood chip storage, 600,000. Maybe. This is sawdust, smaller. Could put two of those in there, I suppose. And how does it look? That looks a little bit more rural and not so industrial seaport. We'll skip that. Let's get in. Back to our ore. This guy looks fairly industrial. This is 400,000 and 300. I don't really care. This is not going to be terribly functional. This is more. Oh boy, which one to put in now? This is more aesthetic. All of what I'm doing right now is more aesthetic. Which one's bigger? They're exactly the same size, but sure, this one. Why not? And yeah, okay. And then we want to connect this little road here for another access point. Unfortunately, I'm going to back this off a bit, and we need to curve it just slightly. Don't love that. I wonder if a straight segment would do better. Yep, fine. Quite fine. Fix the trains now. Here we go. Again, we're eyeballing this. So angle, yes. Length, grid, guidelines, no. Freeform, for sure, dude. And we... Oh, too weird of an angle. I fear it's going to be weird, so we're just going to back that to there, and then a little bit more. Oh, tight to the road. And hopefully a straight piece will finish this off nice. How do we do? Yeah. Yeah! Awesome! Oh, this is looking great. Okay. It's coming. It's coming. What else can we do here? North side of the road here. Yeah. I would kind of like for this road to come off a little bit straight and make a lot of sense. Now we have to have a road coming out here connecting here, because otherwise you're only going across and you can't connect to the arterial. So this is going to be an important junction. Our arterials will be very important. Let's get another one in here. So now we only have really 1 and 2 major intersections here. I hope they hold up. Well, 3 with this one. I hope they hold up. This is really just servicing this roundabout. It might one-way this, but I don't think we will, because they're only going to use 1 lane of that one-way road. So anyway, forget that. Let's see, what can we fit in these remaining spaces here? There was another... Okay, we've got to get some forestry storage in here. Which one looks more industrial? And which one fits better? Oh, one other thing I want to do before I forget, so that I don't place anything inadvertently, is make sure that this end of the line here has an option to continue in the future, because who knows? Who knows what's going to go over there? This is connected to the external line, so I don't know what's going to happen, but anyway, we're future-proofing ourselves here. Good. What can we fit in here? You know what? We need actually a little something for our industry, our commercial rather, plaza. Let's put a beautiful small plaza. In fact, can we put the big one in here? Yeah, we could. I don't really want to though. I don't think it matters. We'll put a small one. And this is going to give them a little place to eat lunch, plus it's going to help these buildings level up at some point, because now they have something to do with themselves. And let's just fill in the last of this commercial here. Good. What are we fitting in here? Let's play a little bit with our warehouses. See if there are any that are nice like fits. Not too small. Maybe. No. How about this one? Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, we might just do that there. Put a little more commercial on the other side. And, oh, we could fit one more in here. That seems legit. We'll do that. Flesh this out with commercial. Cool. And, right, forestry area. I want something from the forestry industry. Let's do it. It is interesting that this will fit up top here. I'm not sure I want to load more traffic onto that road, but... Well, okay, let's get that building in there. What else? I'm rethinking putting the police station here. Now we've got a little bit more room for storage. Do I want to fire too many storage things in here? Why not? Let's go crazy. What else are we going to do? Something here. What can fit here? We've used our oil industry assets up, have we? Let's check. Oh, I think I know what we can do. That fits perfectly. How's that looking? It's looking like a port in my eyes. Is there anything missing? So we have storage for ore products. All the major industry products are being stored here. And you know what? We've got all of our oil, raw materials. We've got our forestry, our ore, raw materials, and we've got some farm raw material storage. Not that I think we need that, but hey, it looks good. So let's just start turning these into just random animals, random material storage. I don't think we need goods because we're not near any major commercial areas, so we're gonna leave it. But let's just go from the top and see what happens. See how this turns out. Okay, we've got all of these set, and we've got our road connected. Is our power jumping? Not quite. We'll just pull it over a little bit. Power's connected, roads are connected. This could be just extended just a little bit. That's good. All right, so we can start to run this, and that'll give the trains a chance to catch up a little bit as well. And I think there's one more thing I want to do. So I said I didn't want to make this a one-way circular road because that would make the trucks only take one direction. And I do want them to be able to go multiple directions. So instead, we're going to make use of a road that I almost never use, which is that asymmetrical road, which is here. And what we can do with this is pause, go all the way up, and I want 2 turning lanes here. So I'm actually gonna check what's happening here. I can't really see the lines, but yeah, now we have 2 turning lanes, and it's sort of shifting in near the middle, which is fine. And now we should have 2 turning lanes at the other end as well. Yeah, that looks good. So 2 lanes coming in. That'll allow the trucks to back up a little bit. It'll allow them to go both left and right. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. They've got a turn lane there. We're gonna reverse this one, just give them a little more leeway on this side. Actually, no, we're not, because that's more close to the halfway point. I think we'll do the same over here. Switch it around. Yeah, so, okay, we've got 2 turn lanes, 2 turn lanes. And do we need to do that anywhere else? Well, we'll see, but let's run it. We are running it. Oh, water. We need to rejig our water lines. And we're set there for water. All right, traffic's moving. Let's see what it's looking like. It's not bad yet. As the trains figure out that they can drop their cargo off here, they might make the traffic worse. Is there any space that we can fill in? I'm gonna leave that blank. I don't think we need to worry about that. This is fine. You know what? Let's do just a little bit more commercial along the main road. And a little tiny bit of landscaping is in order. All right. Yeah, that looks like a true seaport. It kind of looks like we have industrial progress in the city, which is great. And yes, we're still having an issue with not enough workers. And so the best thing we could do is start a bus line. But before we do that, I want to connect up our airport. And again, I'm not going to do anything crazy with this airport because the DLC is coming and I do not want to rebuild this whole thing. So let's just do a bit of work on it and at least get it functioning. Now what I want to do is measure the length of this building and make sure I get the halfway point. Do we line it up? She's lined up. Fits pretty nice, I would say. Looks pretty much like an airport type of hangar building, which is going to go great with this aesthetic. And we want to put a road in now, so let's continue with our 4-lane industrial road. We've got to make sure that we're exactly even, so we'll come out just as far as we need to. And use the wrong road while we're at it. Let's fix that real quick. This can connect directly up. I will have to level the terrain a bit because we've got a hill issue here. Is the curve of that road going to annoy me? No, it's fine. I like that it's straight coming down and then it's straight going up this side. It's a slight jog, but it's fine. Okay, great. We've got 2 warehouses in here. Now, what else can we do? Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to be a little bit too close to the water. This road has to go up, but first of all, I want to do something a little bit maybe unusual, which is draw some ferry pathways. And the reason for that is I want my road to be able to get over the ferry pathway because, you know, this is a navigable channel. You know, we might put some cities up here one day, some villages, and so I just want to make sure that boats can actually pass through here. So let's just draw some ferry lines for the future. Okay, only need to go as far as there. Now let's build the bridge. We want to make sure we get over our ferry line, and I want to make sure that the pillars are equidistant from the ferry pathway. So here's my ferry pathway, and if I go out 6 right there, so it should be 6, then I can get a total distance of 12, and I'm just going to do it straight. Wind up there, yes. So if we go 12, how high are we? I might not even need to be that high. No, it's fine. Okay. 12. Boom. Alright. What else do we want to stick in here? I'm gonna want some other warehouses, of course. Let's see. Can I? Oh, you know what? We maybe need some more oil storage. It seems like something that would be important for an area that has plains. So we'll draw a road there. In fact, I think we're going to go a little bit more right up to the train line. Come across as far as we can. Wipe that out. We'll do the same on this side. We're maximizing. Oops, didn't want to go quite that far. Maximizing the usable space on this side of the airport. And hey, once the DLC is out, I might end up just destroying all of this anyway. But for now, we're just having fun. Having fun with it. One other thing I did want to do, I do like having the one-way roads on our cargo airports and the cargo seaports. So we'll just switch this around, make sure they come at it, turn right to get in and to get out. That looks fine to me. What can we get in here? I'm actually gonna finish building this bridge so that I know how far I can actually come out. No, scratch that. I'm going to put a whole bunch of warehouse yards in here first. It fits pretty nicely. How many spaces is this deep? 2, 4, 6, 7. So we want to leave the same amount of space on the other side. 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that right? Yes. Okay. So let's straight up here. This should give me enough room to go up with my bridge. And we'll measure this out. It's a distance of 17, which is not an even number, but oh, you know what? That's actually not a bad distance for a bridge. We get it as smooth as we can. Connect her up. Yeah. All right. Ferries can get under there. I mean, yeah, I'm almost certain they're going to clip the tops of those boat, but okay, we'll live with it. And more warehouses. And ideally, we can get every single resource in here. Do I want to go on this side as well? No, I wonder wonder if maybe there's value in putting in some oil storage on this side as well. Big one? Doesn't fit. Can you build on water? What are you talking about? A couple small ones? So I don't really want to terraform the river, but I do want to get 2 of these in here, or at least 1. Perhaps one of those for oil storage, and I don't know, maybe underground storage cavern. That doesn't really make sense right next to the water. Does it look industrial? That's the key. It kind of does. Does it look like it would service an airport? I don't know. Definitely not an airport planner here, but sure, yeah, that's fine. And what do we have left? We have space for a couple more large warehouses. We're not going to go as crazy as we did with the seaport. I wonder what our fire coverage is doing over here. I don't think those little, no, they were not able to cover this side, so we're gonna have to get a fire station and a police station here. And luckily, they fit pretty, but that's a one-way road. Okay, you know what, we'll stick them on this side. Do I want to get too close? Hello, plane. Yeah, we don't need to be quite so close. I'd prefer these to be more centralized. Unfortunately, that's gonna prevent us. All right, well, we'll just stick them here. So there's our fire and our police. Beautiful. All right, next step, we want to get the rail line in here, and I'm just going to temporarily back this off. I don't think we need it. And I see. All right, so this line. This rail line is going to follow the highway. It's going to go all the way down. It's probably going to cross over here and head down there, where eventually I want to build a fish empire. A fishing empire. Not today. So right now we just need to connect up to here. Let's do it. I like that. Oh, I forgot that the game's running and I don't really want to kill this area. I should be fine, but let's quickly get services in here. What's the best way to get power over here? I think we're going to cross the train line. That's cool. That's cool. Alright, we should have power now. And let's get a little bit of commercial on this side as well, for these people to have somewhere to go. And who knows what services might pop up next to an airport. We just never know. And alright, since these are massive storage warehouses, we're going to use the generic or the zoned industry. These guys can be just random. Alright, they're set. Now, what's missing? We haven't connected our railway just yet. There you have it, folks. We have another cargo airport connected. Just gotta reconnect this power and we should be good to run it. Let's do it. All right. And we're in great position to keep extending this line, extending our development across this river next time and in the direction that we want to go. All right. And of course, probably in the next episode, you'll see me demolish this whole airport and start it again with the DLC. But for today, we've done some great work. I think we'll leave it here. I'm not going to detail this or anything like that, since who knows what's going to happen, but I might let it run for a bit and see what the traffic does. You can see we're getting some significant backups here, so we might need to rethink the traffic flow in a new episode. In fact, before we go, we've got to just double check on our stop signs. Of course, this Heather Avenue is a priority road, which means that it's going to, when I click this, get rid of stop signs on that road. Light there, sure. Here, definitely not. Close it up. I don't think we need one here either. Stop sign would be fine. We want to prioritize the major routes. And I'm not quite sure why this is so jammed up. But we can definitely do some traffic troubleshooting in the next episode. So far here, good. We don't need this light. In fact, I'm just going to let that flow so that we don't get backups on the highway. And I think same thing here. Well, we'll leave a stop sign on this side since there's very little traffic coming through. And on this side, no light necessary. Thank you very much. Nope. Great. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm hoping that improves traffic flow a little bit. You can see it's very red, which means we just might need to play with some of the configurations of the road. Maybe need to make this one way at some point. Maybe just need to let it run. Right now, all of these warehouses are filling to about midway point, to balance level, right? These ones were here before, so they have a bit of a head start, but this one, okay, 64. Oh, okay, they're getting filled up. So once they're full, we should stop bleeding money. And I forgot to check how much money we're making from our warehouses at the start of this episode, but I can go back and check that next time. Let's take a look at what we're doing now. We're losing about 8,000, and that's probably a function of these filling up, right? Eventually, once they have their stock in place, they're going to operate like a normal warehouse and probably make us a lot more money. So yeah, I think we're going to leave it here for now. We're going to just quickly check on the other side of the map and what's doing for train backups here. There are none. We're clear. How are we doing at the top of the map? Still fighting a little bit of traffic here, but I think that's going to clear once they realize, hey, there's another airport at the other side of the map. We don't need to be so crazy busy here. Now, why are these trucks stopped, I wonder? Oh, they're waiting for trains, so yeah, we might need to build a bridge here. That's a tomorrow project. So you can see that we've got some backlogs here, but you know, I have workshopped this previously, and I know that this traffic will clear. And as soon as they realize that there's another airport on that side, hey, they're going to start taking a different route. And guess what? That's going to be through this farmland, which before we fix this, it would have been a bottleneck. Now you've got a line that goes straight through without getting stuck in any of these cargo situations. And also, this is going to be an incredibly busy cargo rail port because there are so many communities being served by these two rail yards. So we've done a good thing in allowing them a lot of runway to back up if they need to, and hopefully we're not going to see any backlogs by the next episode. This is basically the third episode of fixing train traffic, and I'm optimistic that we have it fixed. So time will tell. Next episode, join me, and we're going to finish out that airport area. I think we're going to use the DLC packs. Now, I know that you have to have a level 3 airport to build the cargo aspects of the new DLC items. However, I've got everything unlocked. All the progression milestones are unlocked, so hopefully that will let us just build a cargo airport without putting down a regular airport, because we don't need one. We've got a perfectly good airport, and why build a new one? Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, and if you want to find out or be notified of when I release new episodes, just click the subscribe button or the notification bell, and you'll get them. Thanks again for watching.